today it broke that Kellen Moore is going to be the head offensive coordinator for the San Diego LA Chargers, and then Mike McCarthy is going to be calling the Dallas Cowboys play. So start here. What do you think of him parting ways? But what do you think of Mike McCarthy calling the plays? Because I think this is a recipe for huge disaster because the huge story in Green Bay was Mike McCarthy always wants to call the plays, and then whenever he would relinquish that duty, they got good. A lot
Yeah.
better.
Well, it shows that the Cowboys are going to be bad next year because
Awful.
Kellen Moore, in his 5 years that he was with the Cowboys,
Yeah.
they were a top 5 offense 4 of those years. The only time they weren't was when Dak Prescott went down. So their offense was never the problem. And I don't think their problem was offense this year either.
No.
Even with Dak Prescott, he made Cooper Rush look pretty solid for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
There's people saying maybe Cooper Rush takes over for Dak Prescott. So I don't think the problem was Kellen Moore. If you wanted to argue who the problem was, I would have said Mike McCarthy. But you know what? Jerry Jones, he says, you know what? Let's give Mike McCarthy the keys. And I theorize why they did that. This was, I think, the way they lost this past playoff run. Obviously disappointing. They had to make changes. Wasn't quite ready to throw away Mike McCarthy. So I think this next year is really his year to prove himself.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen because we have Zeke who might not be there. We have Tony Pollard who might not be there.
Right.
And then you have a couple of players on defense who might not be there. So no running game, which means Dak Prescott regression. And that leaves you with CeeDee Lamb, who's a fringe number 1. You have Mike McCarthy calling you plays, which has proven in Green Bay that doesn't work. So first of all, Kellen Moore being fired from the Cowboys, mistake, 100%.
Yeah. And I think Mike McCarthy calling the plays is a huge mistake. And that was really the real rift in Green Bay where Aaron Rodgers was like, yeah, I don't listen to anything that guy tells me. Are you kidding me? The guy looks like a cop from Milwaukee. And then Jerry Jones is like, hires Mike McCarthy because he's his buddy. He has his weekly meeting with Mike McCarthy. And then Mike McCarthy will break down some game tape. And Jerry's like, oh, wow, Mike, you really know your stuff. Let's go get some more nachos. It's like he's his drinking buddy. He goes out, gets his nachos. Jerry Jones is his problem as an owner is he befriends the head coach. He befriends the quarterback and Tony Romo, treats them like family. And I love that about Jerry Jones. I love that he can emotionally attach to someone and take them in and treat them as his family. But at the end of the day, this is a business. And the NFL, it's the most cutthroat business in sports. And your number 1 job as the most profitable franchise should be winning a Super Bowl, especially when you're getting up there in age. On the other end of it, Kellen Moore going to the Chargers, I love this because what Kellen Moore's problem and my criticism was with him in Dallas is I felt like he was slinging the rock a little bit too much with Dak Prescott, especially because Dak Prescott's a really good play action guy, but I don't love him as a guy who's throwing the ball 45 times a game. So I felt like that hurt them a little bit, but when you're doing that with Justin Herbert, and you're doing that with Mike Williams, and you're doing that with Keenan Allen, and then you give him a weapon like Austin Eckler, and then you have all the other weapons they have there. Jordan Palmer,
Josh Palmer, yeah.
Josh Palmer, who's been a really good weapon for them. If Kellen Moore brings his, okay, we're just going to sling this down the field mentality, and Brandon Staley really lets him show his offensive personality with the Chargers, I actually think this is the job that's going to get Kellen Moore that big head coaching opportunity because Justin Herbert is a huge upgrade over Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
He does everything better. He's a better runner, has more arm strength, he's more accurate, and he has a better feel for the game.
And he's more efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it too because they were having Joe Lombardi, who was very conservative with Justin Herbert. You want to be conservative with quarterbacks like Daniel Jones. It worked with the Giants this year. But when it comes to somebody like Justin Herbert, who, sure, maybe he's not in top 5 conversation anymore after how he played against the Jaguars. Overall, Justin Herbert is absolutely a top 10 quarterback. And watching someone like Kellen Moore, who was kind of I don't know if I would give him the same like risk it, biscuit sort of mentality like Bruce Arians had.
Yeah, no risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah. But he's definitely somebody that he likes to gun it. He likes to make those big splash plays.
For sure.
And he has the talent around him that they can do that. Keenan Allen, although he is getting up there in age, he's still able to make those big plays. They have Mike Williams makes that big play, big physical receiver.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler, great in those screen pass games.
Yeah.
And I still think that they're going to go after a wide receiver, whether it be in free agency, via trade, or in the draft.